Hello everyone, it's me, the Real Local Maniac. Welcome to another 8-Bit Wars. And today I'm doing the classic arcade game, Final Fight. Now this is done by Capcom. Now it does have an intro and everything like that, but I've skipped past that because, again, I've got the YouTube 10-minute time limit. Now this is probably one of my favourite scrolling beat-em-ups ever, okay? I wouldn't say it's my favourite game scrolling beat 'em up ever. I think the title for that goes to Streets of Rage 2 on the Sega Mega Drive, which, I'll be honest with you, does owe a lot to this, but it just took the game to a whole new different level. But anyway, enough of that. This is probably like my favourite beat 'em up in the arcade anyway. You know, originally apparently this was meant to be like a sequel to Street Fighter, the first game, but then the Capcom decided, you know, they'll go with it in a different way. That's Mike Hager there. He plays very similar to Zangief. To be honest with you, this is better than Double Dragon and Golden Axe. Much better. Now this is the Spectrum version here of Final Fights. I sort of skipped the intro there. There's no real need for it, to be honest with you. It's very similar to the Amstrad, and I'll show you that a little bit later on. The only difference is it's just the colour and the intro. Okay, what you'll notice about the Amstrad version, about the Spectrum version here, is that it's all yellowish. But if you can look past that, you know, a lot of the youngsters nowadays will be like, it's just a bit of a yellow mess, you know, doesn't look nothing quite like it. But you've got to take into account that the computer it was a Spectrum after all, and the graphics are pretty huge for a Spectrum game, you know. Fair enough, you haven't got music. I'll be honest with you, the downers are that you haven't got any music, sort of like the sound effects are somewhat limited. There's a bit of a dodgy collision detection, really. It's kind of hard to actually connect when you're trying to fight. And it's a bit jerky overall, really, but it does look pretty good. I wouldn't say it's the greatest Spectrum arcade conversion, but it does a good job when you consider it's a good old specky, really. You know, to me, like I've mentioned this loads of times, my favourite scrolling beat 'em up on the Spectrum is Target Renegade. I love that game to bits. I will include that in the 8-Bit Wars at some point. You know, and another good one was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, obviously that wasn't as good as Target Renegade, but it was still pretty good. You had quite a few characters on screen at the same time. Another one that was good was Shadow Warriors. I've already included that in the 8-Bit Wars. Double Dragon was truly awful. Golden Axe again. The arcade versions were good though. Anyway, this is the Amstrad CPC 464 version. The Spectrum intro is pretty similar to that, minus all the colour. You know, it had the music. I think the Amstrad music is slightly better, to be honest with you. This is very similar to the intro that the arcade had. Now, first thing I'd just like to clear up, for some reason the version I'm playing in it's got a bit of corruption there. I mean, look at that, the sprite isn't meant to look like that. He looks like some sort of guy that's been set on fire. That's not the way it's meant to be, so I apologise about that. I have to bear with me, just look past that. And now, if you look at the character sprite, he does look pretty much like the arcade sprite there. It's nice and big. But what you'll notice, I don't think you get more than 1 or 2 characters on screen at the same time. At the moment, it's just 1. To be honest with you, it plays very similar to the Spectrum version. It really does. Sound effects are pretty much exactly the same. But the graphics, to be honest with you, because it's got colour, it does make it look that little bit better. Oh, you got 2 characters on screen. I mean, look, they do look pretty good as opposed to enemy sprites. I wouldn't say they're as good as the Double Dragon 2 sprites on the Amstrad version, but then again, like the graphics of Final Fight the arcade were a lot bigger than Double Dragon 2, a lot more detailed. Double Dragon 2 were a lot more simple, really. But yeah, it's not a bad game, this, overall. Again, similar to the Spectrum, it's got a bit of dodgy collision detection. It does move at a bit of a slow rate, but I'll be honest with you straight away, it is better than the Spectrum version. So it will be between this and the Commodore 64. Again, I have no idea where that's come up, so I apologise about that. This is one of the games I could not wait for it to come out, to be honest with you, on the 8-bit computers. I'll be honest with you, I mean, when they did come out, I wasn't disappointed. I was pretty happy with the conversions, all three of them. The first one I played was, I think, the Spectrum, then the Commodore, and then the Amstrad. I'll tell you what, it also came out on the Super Nintendo. The Super Nintendo version was okay. I think it was missing a level or two, and it was minus the guy character. But then, you know, they came up with a different version. But to be honest with you, you paid about, what, £60? I don't think that really justified, like, the same game, but just with a different character. But hey, you know, some people went for it. I don't think it was until the Mega CD version that our proper conversion didn't come out. Alright. Yeah, this is the Amstrad version. Alright, this is a Commodore 64 version here. Now, first thing to notice, the graphics aren't as big. They're a lot blockier. They look like they're made out of Lego, to be honest with you. The Commodore 64 did have that sort of feel to it, really, to be honest with you. Graphics are also a little bit titchier, a bit smaller. It plays a little bit faster. But to be honest with you, I don't think it quite looks like Final Fight, really. Not really. Again, it's also got, what, 2 sprites there. It's got some nice sound effects. The animation's really terrible. Come on, that's meant to be, what, the power driver? It's meant to be, what, the drop kick that he's doing? It does feel like you're connecting a little bit more than the Amstrad and the Spectrum. I don't know. Again, I don't think this is like the Commodore 64's best conversion. I think the title of that probably goes to something like Target Renegade. Again, like I said, Target Renegade I will include in my 8-bit wars in the next few weeks at some point. I am going to sort of carry on doing these videos just to let you guys know in advance around sort of April-ish. I want to sort of disappear for about a week and a bit or two because basically what's happening, I'm getting married, so I've got loads of wedding things to do, and then I've got to go away on my honeymoon. But before I do go away around April, I'm going to sort of post pretty much double as many videos, and that way that will keep you going until I get back. I've been dying to do this 8-bit wars for quite some time now. It's one of my favourite games ever, Final Fight. The ones that I have got coming soon are sort of Outrun, I've got Bomb Jack, Ikari Warriors, 1943, Commando. Got loads more 8-bit wars coming up soon. And if you can think of any other games you'd like me to try and do, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to do them. I've got pretty much all the games planned, but you know, I probably will try and do them in the next few weeks or whatever. And you know, if you can think of any recommendations, not just for the 8-bit wars, but for the others, sort of like cinematic games or the WTF or, you know, my sports games, whatever you can think of, please, you know, feel free to sort of suggest some things. I'll be more than happy to do it. Whenever anyone suggests something, you know, sometimes I probably haven't played a game in a while, and it's good to sort of redo them again. Yeah, this isn't too bad, but to be honest with you, the graphics are a little bit blocky. Yeah, I mean, like I was saying before, Street Fighter, this was meant to be sort of like named Street Fighter 2 until Capcom decided to sort of not call it Street Fighter 2 and just go for the Final Fight game. And, you know, Mike Hager, which is the mayor, plays very similar to Zangief. Same sort of like power driver, spinning clothesline. You know, Mike Hager does appear in a few other games as well. I think Saturday Night Slam Masters, whatever the game was called, which was pretty good. The version that your Final Fight guys should check out is also Mighty Final Fight for the Nintendo, the 8-bit NES. I'll probably post that up in, I don't know, maybe in a few weeks' time as a blast from the past. I reckon that's just a bit of a hidden gem on the NES. Yeah, you know, I think I've made up my mind it's going to win. It's not the Spectrum. To be honest with you, it's the Amstrad. Alright, I'm the Real Local Maniac. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.